Picture this. You're 68 years old. You've been looking forward to this trip for months. You arrive at the airport, check in, head to security. Then a TSA agent tells you to take off your shoes, remove your jacket, empty your pockets, lift your bag onto the belt. You move as fast as you can, but your knees hurt, your back isn't what it used to be, and the line behind you, growing impatient. No one helps. No one offers a chair. No one tells you there's another line. You struggle through. You make your flight. But the stress stays with you the whole trip. Here's what no one told you. You didn't have to do any of that. There are laws, federal regulations, airline policies, all designed specifically to protect older travellers. And airports, they're legally required to follow them. But they won't tell you, not one word. Because every senior who doesn't know their rights, that's money saved, time saved, headaches avoided, for the airport, not for you. Today I'm exposing 10 forgotten travel rights for seniors. Rights that no airport will ever announce. Rights that could save you money, dignity and physical pain starting on your very next flight. If you're a senior traveller, watch every second of this. If you love a senior traveller, send them this video. Because the airline is counting on silence. Let's break that silence. Let's start with the one that shocks most seniors. You don't have to wait in the regular security line. Here's the truth that TSA will never post on a sign. Every single airport in the United States is required to offer a TSA Cares accommodation. That means if you're 75 or older, or if you have any mobility limitation at any age, you can request a dedicated screening line. Not the regular line, not pre-check. A separate, slower-paced, assisted screening experience. Here's how it works. When you arrive at security, don't get in line. Walk directly to the TSA officer at the entrance of the checkpoint. Say these exact words. I'm requesting TSA Cares assistance. I'm a senior traveller. That's it. They are legally required to accommodate you. Immediately. What happens next? An officer walks you through every step. You don't have to rush. You don't have to lift bags onto the belt alone. You don't have to take off shoes if you have a medical reason to keep them on. And here's the secret inside the secret. You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to call ahead. You don't need to prove anything. The request alone is enough. In 2024, TSA processed over 100,000 TSA Cares requests. In fall 2025, that number is expected to double. But most seniors still have no idea this exists. Now you do. Use it every single time. Next right, and this one is shockingly simple. Wheelchair assistance is not a favour, it's a right. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, that's federal law, not a suggestion, any passenger who requests wheelchair assistance must receive it. No questions, no fees, no medical verification. But here's the trick airlines use. They make you feel guilty. They make it sound like wheelchairs are for truly disabled travellers. They put up signs that say voluntary wheelchair assistance to make it seem optional. It's not optional, it's required. And here's the part they really don't want you to know. You can request wheelchair assistance for any reason. Arthritis, fatigue, recent surgery, bad knees, anxiety about long walks, even just not wanting to walk a mile through terminals. The law doesn't require you to explain. The airline cannot ask for proof. So here's your move. When you book your flight online, check the box for wheelchair assistance. Most airline websites hide it under Special Assistance or Mobility Services. Look for it. If you can't find it, call the airline. They must add it to your reservation. And if you decide at the airport that you need help, go to any ticket counter or gate. Say, I need wheelchair assistance to my gate. They cannot refuse, they cannot delay, they cannot charge you. The wheelchair isn't a medical device, it's a tool. And fall 2025 travel is exhausting for everyone. Don't be a hero, take the chair. This one gets overlooked constantly. Priority boarding for seniors. You've seen it. Families with small children board early. Military members board early. First class boards early. But what about seniors? Here's the law. Under Department of Transportation regulations, airlines must offer priority boarding to any passenger who self-identifies as needing additional time to board. That includes seniors. Specifically, travellers 75 and older, but many airlines extend it to 65 and older. Here's the trick. Airlines will never announce this. They will never remind you. They want you to board with your regular group, so the bins fill up before you get there. But you don't have to. When you get to the gate, walk to the podium before boarding starts. Say, I'm requesting priority boarding as a senior traveller who needs extra time. The gate agent will either add a note to your boarding pass or tell you to listen for the announcement. Most major airlines, Delta, American, United, Southwest, have explicit policies for this. And here's the secret. This isn't just about comfort, it's about bin space. If you board early, your carry-on goes above your seat. If you board late, it gets gate-checked. And gate-checked bags for seniors? They don't always make it to the carousel before you're exhausted from waiting. Priority boarding isn't a perk, it's a protection. Claim it. This right saves seniors hundreds of dollars. Checked bag fees for medical equipment. Here's what airlines don't tell you. CPAP machines, portable oxygen concentrators, mobility scooters, walkers, canes, crutches, even medically necessary cooling devices for temperature-sensitive medications. These items fly for free. Always. Every airline, every flight. Not just as carry-ons, not just as checked bags. Free. No size limits, no weight limits, no bag fees. Here's the trick. Airlines will try to charge you anyway. Their booking systems aren't programmed to flag medical equipment. Their agents aren't trained to offer the waiver. You have to ask. So ask. When you book online, call the airline immediately after. Say, I'm travelling with medical equipment. Please note in my reservation that these items are exempt from baggage fees. Get a confirmation number. Save it. Bring it to the airport. And here's the secret within the secret. The definition of medical equipment is broader than you think. A tablet loaded with medical apps? Some airlines consider that medical equipment. A special pillow for neck pain? If it's prescribed, it's covered. Compression boots for circulation? Covered. If you need it for your health, it flies free. But the airline will never, ever tell you that. Now you know. This one angers seniors more than any other. Seat assignments. You book a flight. You pay extra for an aisle seat near the bathroom. You confirm everything. Then you board and find yourself in a middle seat in the back row. Here's the law. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, airlines must provide seating accommodations for seniors with disabilities or reduced mobility. That includes an aisle seat if you need to stand or stretch, a seat near the front if you can't walk far, a seat with movable armrests if you have limited mobility, a seat next to a travelling companion if you need assistance. And here's the trick. Airlines will ignore this unless you escalate. So here's your script. If your seat assignment changes without your permission, walk to the gate agent. Do not board. Say, I'm a senior traveller with reduced mobility. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, I need an aisle seat near the front. Please reassign me before I board. Most agents will fix it immediately. If they refuse, ask for a supervisor. If the supervisor refuses, you have grounds for a formal complaint and compensation. But here's the secret. You can request these seats before you even book. Call the airline's Disability Assistance line, every airline has one, and request a seating accommodation. They must note it in your reservation. That note follows you, even if the flight changes. Even if you get rebooked, the airline cannot ignore a documented accommodation request. Document everything. This right could save your life. Literally. Temperature-sensitive medication, insulin, certain heart medications, epinephrine pens, liquid antibiotics. These cannot be stored in the cargo hold. Ever. Here's why. Cargo holds are not temperature controlled the way cabins are. In summer, cargo holds can reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit. In winter, they can drop below freezing. Either temperature can destroy medication permanently. Here's the law. Airlines must allow you to keep temperature-sensitive medication in the cabin, not in a checked bag, not in a gate-checked bag, in the cabin, with you. But here's the trick. Airlines will try to make you check your medication bag if overhead bins are full. Just put it under the seat, they'll say. Or worse, we'll gate check it and you can pick it up on the jet bridge. Do not agree. Here's your script. This bag contains temperature-sensitive medication that cannot be stored outside the cabin. Under federal regulations, you must allow me to keep it on board. If an agent pushes back, ask for the onboard customer service manager. They have the authority to make space in a closet or crew area for medical bags. And here's the secret every senior needs to know. Carry a letter from your doctor stating the medication requires cabin storage. It's not legally required, but it stops arguments instantly. One piece of paper, infinite peace of mind. Pack it before you pack anything else. This right is for seniors who don't travel alone. The Travel Companion Rule. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, if a senior requires assistance from a travelling companion, for mobility, for medical needs, for communication, that companion must be seated next to them, at no additional charge. Here's what that means. If you and your spouse book seats separately, if the airline changes your seats, if a flight is cancelled and you're rebooked in different rows, the airline must fix it for free. Here's the trick. Airlines will tell you to pay for seat selection. They'll say, preferred seats are extra. They'll claim the system can't override assignments. All lies. When you book, call the airline immediately. Say, I'm travelling with a senior who requires assistance. Please link our reservations and seat us together under the Air Carrier Access Act. Get it in writing, email confirmation, screenshot the chat. If you're separated at the gate, don't board. Walk to the agent and say the same thing. They cannot board the senior without their assistant. That's the law. And here's the secret. This applies even if the senior doesn't use a wheelchair. Assistance includes helping with bags, reading signs, navigating security, even emotional support during stressful travel. The law is broad. The airline's excuses are narrow. Don't accept their excuses. This right saves seniors money. The 24-hour cancellation rule. You book a flight, then your health changes. Your doctor says, don't fly. A family emergency comes up. Under US Department of Transportation rules, any flight booked at least 7 days before departure can be cancelled within 24 hours for a full refund. No fees, no questions. But here's the trick most seniors don't know. That 24-hour window applies even if you booked a non-refundable ticket, even if you booked basic economy, even if the airline says all sales final. Federal law overrides airline policy. Always. Here's the secret. Many travel agents and online booking sites, Expedia, Kayak, Priceline, don't honour this rule automatically. You have to cancel directly with the airline. So if you book through a third party, call the airline within 24 hours. Say, "I'm cancelling within the DOT 24-hour grace period. Please process a full refund to my original payment method." They must comply. And here's an advanced move for seniors. If you're unsure about your health before a trip, book 2 flights. 1 refundable, 1 non-refundable. Cancel the non-refundable within 24 hours. Keep the refundable as backup. The airline won't tell you this strategy because it costs them money. But your health doesn't operate on their schedule. Plan accordingly. This right is brand new for fall 2025. Delayed baggage priority for seniors. Here's what airlines don't want you to know. When bags are delayed, airlines process claims in order of passenger status. First class first, elite members second, everyone else whenever they get to it. But seniors, you have a right to skip that line. Under updated Department of Transportation guidance, airlines must prioritise baggage claims for passengers over 75, passengers with medical needs, and passengers travelling with medication in their checked bags. Here's how to use this. If your bag is delayed, don't fill out the online form. That form goes to the back of the queue. Go to the baggage service office in person. Say, "I'm a senior traveller. My bag contains medication and essential items. I need priority processing under DOT guidance." The agent must flag your claim as urgent. Most airlines guarantee a response within 4 hours for priority claims. Regular claims can take days. And here's the secret. If your medication was in the delayed bag, the airline is required to reimburse you for emergency replacements. That means buying insulin at a local pharmacy. Buying a week's worth of blood pressure medication. The airline pays. Keep your receipts. Submit them with your claim. Most seniors don't know this. They pay out of pocket for replacements while waiting for bags that never come. Don't be most seniors. Last right, and this one is your nuclear option, the direct complaint hotline. When airlines violate your rights, and they will, most seniors give up. They write a letter, they send an email, they wait weeks for a form response. But there's a faster way. The Department of Transportation has a dedicated Aviation Consumer Protection Division hotline, and in fall 2025, they're actually answering it. Here's the number. Write this down. 202-366-2220. That's the DOT complaint line. Real people, real investigators, real enforcement. Here's the trick. Airlines know this number exists. They know DOT investigates every single complaint. And they know DOT fines airlines for violations. So when you mention this number, airline agents change their tone immediately. Here's your script. If an airline violates any of the rights we've discussed today, say these exact words. "You are violating my rights under the Air Carrier Access Act. If this is not resolved immediately, I will file a complaint with the Department of Transportation at 202-366-2220 and request an investigation." Watch what happens. 9 times out of 10, the problem gets solved. A supervisor appears, a wheelchair arrives, a seat gets reassigned, a fee gets refunded. Because the airline fears the DOT more than they fear your anger. And here's the final secret. Even if they fix the problem, file the complaint anyway. The DOT collects data on every violation. Patterns lead to fines. Fines lead to policy changes. Your complaint doesn't just help you, it helps every senior who flies after you. That's power. Use it. Here's the truth. Airlines and airports are not your friends. They're not your caregivers. They're not looking out for your health or your dignity. They're looking at their bottom line. But you have rights, federal rights, legal rights, rights that no announcement board will ever display and no gate agent will ever volunteer. The TSA accommodation line, the mandatory wheelchair rule, the boarding priority law, the medical equipment exemption, the seat assignment guarantee, the medication temperature rule, the travel companion accommodation, the free cancellation window, the delayed baggage priority, the DOT complaint hotline, 10 forgotten rights, 1 clear message. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to pay for what the law says is free. But you have to ask. Which of these 10 rights shocked you the most? Drop the number in the comments. And if you're a senior traveller or you love one, share this video because the airline is counting on silence. Let's make sure they hear us instead. Subscribe and hit the bell. There are more rights where these came from. Until next time, travel with knowledge, travel with power, and never let an airport tell you what you can't do. The law is on your side. Now fly like it.